Hi guys. Today I thought I'd take a little drive. It's Veterans Day. So I stopped at a little event they were having in the town of Winnemucca, which consisted of a few fire trucks, a few sheriff cars, and a couple of floats. It's not a very big town, but they did celebrate Veterans Day, and my best to all of you out there who are veterans and have served our country, and I really appreciate what you've done for us. And for my son Matthew, who was in the Army and he had gone to Afghanistan, and fortunately he's home, not without some injuries, but he's doing very well. So thank you, Matthew, and thank you for everyone who served, and it really means a lot to all of us and to our country. So that having been said, I stopped at this little town. It's called Golconda, Nevada, and there's not much to it. It was a little mining town, started back in the 1800s. Off to the east of this town, about 50 miles or so, is a couple of really large gold mines. Pretty big. It's Newmont Mining Company, and they recently sold to Barrick Mining, so it's called something else, and I'm not sure what the name is right now. But anyway, let's go through this little town. I've wanted to stop here and just cruise through to see some of the old buildings and whatever we can find here, because you never know when you stop at these little spots in the road along the Nevada highways. You just never know what you're going to find. So we may find some gems today. Let's see if we can find something worth looking at. So come along with me, and here, I'll turn you around, and this is the beginning of the town. Well, hold on just a second. This phone does not cooperate with me sometimes. Oh, this is where you first pull off the freeway, and there's some older buildings here. There's one I really want to look at, though, back down the road. It's a little, used to be a grocery store, and I think it's just a storefront now, but we're going to go drive by it. We're going to start on the west end of town. But see, there's not much here. And a lot of those trailers that you see right here are people who are temporarily here that work at the gold mines, and they pull their trailers in this little park here, and that's where they live, and then they go home on the weekends or on their days off, whatever their schedule is. But a lot of them live right in there. And this parking lot where I'm sitting, right here, and you see all the cars parked in here? Those are cars for the mining people. They park in this parking lot, and a bus drives in right over there, and I used to drive the bus that came in here. It's a 45-foot passenger bus, and they come in here and pick up the miners and take them out to the mines that are 50 miles that way. There's two or three. There's Twin Peaks, which is part of Barrick now, and then there's Turquoise Ridge, I believe, is out there also, and they're both mining. And then there's a Pinson mine. It's a small mine, but I believe it's closed now, but it's out there also. But I used to pick the guys up here in the parking lot from Golconda and from Winnemucca, you know, just stop and pick them up on the way and take them out to the gold mines. And then when they were done, we'd go out and pick them up and bring them all back. So let's go see what else this little town has. I think is hecka cute. You can kind of see a little bit on the inside from here. I don't want to go up and stare in the windows, but I believe back in the day, this used to be a grocery store or a market of some sort. And right now, well, not right now, but it used to be a bar or saloon. You could go in there and used to be a barbecue bar, actually. And that's pretty cool. I think somebody lives here now because it looks empty inside, but look at some of the old things they have up here. Some rocks and tools and stuff. I don't know what this is supposed to be, just a decoration. And that is one massive chain up there. That's way cool. I like these old wagon wheels. These are actual, real wagon wheels. They used to be, see how they used to make them out of the wood, and then they would put the metal around the top? Those are actual wagon wheels. Pretty cool. And that's the front of the store. Pretty awesome. I think this is a private residence now. And they used to have, isn't that pretty out through there? And they used to have a huge motorcycle that was actually made out of metal. And it was more like a sculpture. That was pretty awesome. So let's go see what else we can find. Okay. Looks like I have located first street I turned on. That was pretty lucky. The Golconda Cemetery. If you can read that. Golconda Community Cemetery, lest we forget. Okay, well, let's see if we can go in and take a look. Gosh, I hope I'm not on private property. Oh, that gate was not easy to open. That should be good for now. Okay, well, from what I understand, this cemetery has not been used since the 1950s. I heard the last burials were in, I think, 1955. Let's go over here and take a look at some of these. Look at this. This butts right up against somebody's yard. Sometimes these community cemeteries end up on private land. So I'm sure somebody will come out and yell at me if I'm on their property. See if there's any names. Nope. No names. Just markers. I think they just marked where the graves are, but there's no name. I'm sure there must be some sort of registry somewhere. Look at that old wood marker down there. Probably had writing on it at some point. Looks like somebody just stuck these markers in here to mark where people are. But the names may have been lost. Okay, this one says SD. Might be somebody's last name. I notice over here there's a flower vase. So somebody may still be bringing flowers to this grave, whomever this person is. Here's some more markers. It's like a row of them here with no names of any kind. So you know somebody's here. This is a interesting marker. It's made out of metal. But there again, there is no name, nothing. It's an interesting marker though. Yeah, it's just tin. Some really old ones over here. Let's look up here to some of these older ones. It's actually a nice day. I heard it was going to be really windy, and it was really windy in town, but I'm about 30 miles or so out of town, and there's no wind at all. It's actually pretty good for exploring. Let's go over here and see if there's anything here. I don't want to be here too long. I know. I'm a stranger, and there's not that many people here. I think there's like 200 people that live here, so they're probably all watching me. This is L.M. Brake. Died in 1909, 28 years old. Gone but not forgotten. Well, that's a nice marker. 1909. This is cool. Somebody's grave, but the boards have all fallen down. This is probably an 1800s one. This is really old. Really, really old. You know, this place is full of people, and I feel like I'm walking on graves because, you know, not all of them are marked. Some have lost some markers. This is, oh, infant daughter of Louis and Josephine Girard. Died July 1914. Oh. They didn't even name the baby. It must have been a stillborn. That's tough. Here's some more of these really old. They were probably very pretty at the time that they put up the fences and buried them, but my goodness. I don't know if you can see this, but the ground right here is really sunk in. I mean, it's like sunk about a foot lower than the ground surrounding it. And this one, you know, at one time this was a nice little thing here. And somebody's put up the white markers, but they've fallen over. I wonder if the townspeople put up those white markers. just so they didn't lose the spot. This looks like this grave is raised up a little bit. It's actually a little above the ground. And here's a bunch more of the white markers. A bunch of white markers, but no headstones. There's another wooden surrounded grave right here. It amazes me that even that much wood survives these elements out here. I mean, we do have heat in the summer, but we're in the high desert, so we do get a little bit of snow. Oh. A. Edmondson died in 1893. And how old was this one? Oh my goodness, he lived to a nice ripe old age of 73. Well, 1893. And here's another one of those graves that's raised. See, they're kind of above ground a little bit. Lots of stones on top, which is typical back then, depending on how old the grave is, that it would keep, they would pile rocks and stones on top of the graves to keep the animals from digging up the remains. And this is Theodore Baylor, 1863 to 1898. One of our original pioneers in this area, probably, because a lot of the Old West wasn't settled till the 1800s. That's where our history started. This is Mother, 1887. I wonder if this was Theodore's wife. Oh, this was the son. Theodore was the son, and this is the mother here. She was born in 1887 and died in 1918. Mother and son. It's nice that they put these white markers up, because otherwise these graves would be lost, I would imagine. They probably don't know who they are, maybe. But I'm glad they marked where they are. That was nice of the town to do that. A lot of times, like in Midas, when I went up there, it was just an empty field. And you know, there were graves there, but all the stones were gone. And this is a really nice ornate fencing. It's pretty cool. I like this gate. That's awesome. And it looks like there may be 3 people in here. I can see 3 spots. That looks like a tree carving of some sort there, but it's fallen apart. And that one is Beloved Gabriel Silva Michael, I don't know, born in something, France, April 11th, 1872, died June 5th, 1898. Wow. Very ornate. I probably killed the name because it's a French name. So sorry about that, Gabriel. Wasn't a very old person. They must have been in their 20s. Looks like there may be 3 people in this plot, those 3 raised areas. Lots and lots. I'm not going to stop and look at all the little white ones because there's no names on them. They're just crosses. I think they're just indicating where the graves are. Let's see who these guys are. Okay. This looks like a family because see how it's outlined with the bricks? George Bain. He's born in 1842, died in 1917. And all the stones are made out of the same type of granite. And that's Hugh Bain. Yep, it's a family plot. 1915 to 1985. Well, look at that. And they told me that the last burial in here was 1955. So there are some recent ones. And this one back here is Henry Bain. He was born in 1837, died in 1921, with Kate Bain, wife of Henry Bain. She was born in 1849 and died in 1916. And Edward Bain must have been their son, because he's buried with them, 1872 to 1894. 1894. He died quite a ways before them. I'm not sure that one of the Bains might be a father or something. That's pretty cool. Maggie Bain, wife of Leon Rhine, 1874 to 1947. Florence Bain, wife of John Holland, 1877 to 1920. These must be part of an old pioneer family that stayed here in the Golconda area, probably because of the mining. This is George Blaine, 1852 to 1921. And next to him, it's funny, they put these little stones right here, directly across, because that's the foot right there. That's the foot of the grave, in case you didn't know that. Joe Crawford, he was born 1872. And he died, I can't read the death year, but it's obliterated on the bottom. He was born in 1872. Here's some more unknowns right here. And this fence is still standing amazingly. You can tell it's really old. This person died in 1909, but you can't read the name because it's pretty much washed off, or eroded, I should say. Is J.A. something, and it just says he died in 1909. This is so typical of these old, little small western town cemeteries. Just looks like kind of prairie, deserty, a few markers here and there. This is a decent size. I mean, it's not huge, but it's decent for this little town. Let's go over here, see what these are. Okay. This is Thomas Durnan, 1861 to 1934. Oh, this grave is really sunken in. This is like 1.5 feet sunk down deeper than the level of the ground. And that's GMAS, and that's all it says on it. No dates or anything, just GMAS. Let's see what this little marker over here says. Nothing. It may have said something. Probably hung up right here. Little sign. Hung up right there, and it fell off. But it doesn't. Wow, look how sunk that is. Whoa. That is really deep. This one over here is sunken in too. That one right there. Sunk way down into the ground. Aww. This one says our baby, but there's no dates or anything. A lot of French people over here. It says Jean Caruccieri, if I pronounce that right. Let me see if I can. The sun's not right on my camera. I don't know if you can see that. It's casting a shadow. Born May 29th, 1876 and died March 20, 1906. Native of France. So I'm guessing this is a family plot since it's all roped in together. William Major, 1862 to 1955, and Anna Major, Durban, a good friend, 1870 to 1955. So they died pretty much close together. And I think we have just one more that has a headstone we can look at. It's so weird in these little places like that. You can just feel people watching you. You just feel them watching everything you're doing. They're not used to people, strangers, just milling through towns like this. So they keep an eye on you, let me tell you. Okay. This person's name is Guy Schellenberger. Died July 22nd, 1877. Oh, he was only 10 years old and 8 months. Poor baby. It's a very nice headstone with a little one. Very nice. Let's go see over on this side. I love those mountains over there in the surrounding area. Isn't that cool? I just love the desert. And over there's the major freeway. That's Highway 80. Oh, and this one we've already looked at. This one here. Okay, guys, that pretty much wraps up anything that we can read here in the cemetery. Let's look. I'm impressed that this little town is actually preserving their history, preserving what's left of the little cemetery here. It'd be interesting to know the names of the people with just the white crosses, but they may be lost to time. So I'm going to go on back to the truck and let's drive around and see what else we can find.